All right, hello. This is in the middle of turn two. So a little update on some stuff here. I had moved Corps Commanders and Johnson the previous turn before it was supposed to come after the main moves, and I messed that turn sequence order. So I had put them back where they were at the start and then moved them after back to where I put them. Bragg I put on top of Withers because he's going to move so far that it'll reduce his command range to 0. So I had to put him on top to avoid a out of command there. And then I think Prince is supposed to be out of command for this, so maybe that's still wrong. Maybe that's wrong, and I was doing it right before. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put him out of command for this turn, so he's reduced down to by one activation marker. Everyone else should be good. I drew efficiency. I end up with the same efficiency as before, except that Withers is not down by an extra. He's not out of command, so he's not down an extra one. But anyway, so the Union won initiative again. So Prince went first. All he did was basically he pulled back his line a bit, tightened his line, got almost everyone back into proper order. Also, the replacement, by the way, is supposed to come in at the end, but I don't know if it kind of makes sense to me that it would just happen relatively quickly. So, but I don't think it really affected anything. Replacement, you technically should have come in at the end for Miller, but anyway, this is the only unit that remained disordered after the rolls for a while. That was just them. The what would they call the 15th Minnesota or whatever they are, Michigan. Oh, that's Michigan. Yeah. Anyway, 15th Michigan. They failed their roll that they have to do on activations, and they left the battlefield. I don't think it counts as a rout. They're just gone. But anyway, so they're out. Pulled back the line. Then we drew a Hardy activation. So Heinemann successfully rolled a brigade joint, brigade coordination for 2 brigades, which is all he has, so it was good. So everybody moved up, and there was some fire combat here on the Union right, and the 25th Missouri were just hammered by fire from the flank and then the front, and they've been reduced down to just 4 strength, and they're disordered and collapsed. So they're pretty much here we can maybe zoom in a little bit on them. So as you can see, they are collapsed and not having a good time. And there was some exchange of fire. There we go. There was some exchange of fire around here, but there was no actual change in the status of any of the units involved, just firing back and forth. Actually, one thing that did happen also over here was Canton successfully pushed back the 5th, whatever that is, Missouri, I guess. Mississippi, maybe not Missouri, Mississippi, I think. Anyway, they successfully pushed back the 5th Mississippi with some close range canister or grape shot or whatever. Probably canister at 2X's, I guess. That's like 200 yards. Anyway, so they got pushed back, but and I think they lost a strength point because they failed their disorder check, if I remember right. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, so that's what's happened so far. I just drew a second Hardy activation, so we're gonna get on that. I think the Confederates are really, and they did manage to rally a good chunk of their units up here. So I think they're really gonna press home and go into some serious shot combat now and try to press this flank and just roll them up. So I think that's what's going to happen, so I'll cut back after that. Okay, so we had a Bragg command pull, which, so of course it's Withers, And yes, I'm pretty sure that's what that means. I'll be honest, that's slightly confusing to me, but I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Anyway, Withers went, succeeded in his brigade coordination, so we had a really big move here, everybody moving in, and serious. We did not actually do shock, we just did fire combat. And the rebels really did a number on the Union here. There was another strength point lost and disorder here, a disorder here. Unfortunately for the 10th Mississippi, they do have low ammo, but it's not that big a deal. They're still pretty healthy. They can move in for some shock maybe on the next go around here. We also did some damage to these cannons from our cannons. Unfortunately, they stayed disordered. One of this 21st Alabama rallied. No luck for the 25th. And then there was a huge amount of fire combat up here with the 16th Wisconsin, which did succeed in disordering the 26th Alabama, but they rallied at the end of the phase. Everyone else, when they fired, and the final fire combat here was with Chalmers and the 52nd Tennessee. That got the already disordered 16th Wisconsin had to make a second, got with the second disorder, which forced them to retreat and take an extra strength point loss than they'd already taken, and then they failed their Union route trek that's special for the morning Shiloh scenario stuff. So unfortunately for them, the still 11 strength 16th Wisconsin routed, which really has left a very, very weak side here. And there's at least, I think, 2 more activations that Withers can do, maybe even more than that. Obviously, they'll start getting fatigued, which is going to wear some things down, but overall, they're still doing okay. So, not looking good for the Union here. I mean, more of these victory hexes are being taken. It's getting pretty close down to the breaking point here. This is still a little fuzzy, so we're going to see what happens when I draw the next activation here. In fact, let's do that now. And it is, oh my gosh, come on now, keep dropping it. Okay, but I think this is Hardy's last activation. So we're gonna see if they can finish off this flank maybe, and or at least severely damage it enough that it's ineffective for the rest of the round here. Not that I don't think there's much left. There's just I think it's, it's all three, it's just 1 Bragg command and 2 Withers left, so it's all just going to be them after this. So I will probably just cut to the end here. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, update after that whole series of moves. Unfortunately, Heinemann failed his brigade coordination. Didn't cause a confusion, it was just a fail roll, so just everybody had to act separately, which ultimately might have been why this ended up being kind of disastrous. So we have here Shaver. All they succeeded in doing was basically just forcing the Union to retreat to escape shock results, but the 7th Arkansas was disordered in some fire combat. And up here, you can see Shaver has passed, and there was the 2nd Arkansas was disordered in fire combat. So, just pretty much a mess for them. Not really any benefit or improvement on their position, other than, by forcing the Union to retreat, they're taking these camp victory hexes, but most of those are still over here. And I'm still think, in all likelihood, Withers is going to be able to pretty thoroughly push, I think, but then again, I kind of thought the same there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sometimes the dice are just unlucky. The Union just was rolling. They were rolling 8 and 9s on their fire combat table, and I think this was like a 7 or something. But they were rolling high and doing damage, and the Confederates were not rolling high at all. So it was just a bad set of luck, and And then, of course, the shaver getting popped was another bad set of luck. So we'll see what goes down here after that. But all in all, not a great showing for the Confederates on that move. Okay, I thought I was gonna wait till the end, but this was a pretty big turn here not turn, but activation. Heinemann, he succeeded in brigade coordination, and with a lot of firepower, pretty much eviscerated this line. Both I think it was the 12th? Yeah, the 12th Minnesota, I guess. I don't know what it is because they have some of the same designations. Anyway, it was at 12 strength, or maybe it was it was actually higher. Sorry, I think it was at 14. But with a combination of fire plus failed rolls on its disorder stuff, it's the second disorder table. It dropped down to 11. Had to retreat back over here with Peabody, but then failed its Union route check from fire combat, so it routed. So this is just completely blown open. This regiment is still holding at 12 strength. It's disordered, but it's really not looking good now. Their whole position here is melting. I mean, that's the end of Heinemann's activations, but this is a bad situation. I think that puts Peabody with his collapsed and two of his regiments out of action, and that one disordered. That, I believe, makes his brigade combat ineffective at the end of the turn, which is part of the Confederate victory condition. So if they can pummel old Miller's brigade, the rest of this, let's see, this is the 6th Division, so it's the Army of Tennessee. So if they can pummel the rest of this brigade, that'll pretty much render the 6th Division out of commission. So we'll see what happens here with the rest of their activations. All right, so this is the situation at the end of the game. Both turns done, as I thought, I was right. So Withers, with those, even those commands bring up fatigue and everything, they pretty much the Union line was just so weak after those routes. They were able to just smash through, route more guys, take everything. So this is, I didn't reread the victory conditions, but I'm gonna say this is a pretty definitive win for them. The Union did do quite a bit of strength point damage, but I don't think it shouldn't be enough to win because they need at least 12. Right? Victory conditions. Yeah, occupy them. We're losing 11 or less SPs. Yeah, they definitely didn't lose that many. Units of Peabody's and Miller's brigades. No units of Peabody's brigade remain in the scenario playing area in Miller's. Okay. I have one or more uncollapsed infantry regiments in play, or Union forces being total 12 victory points. Yeah, so the Union didn't achieve their objectives. The Confederates, at the very least, got occupied or passed through all of the victory hexes. So yeah, that's not a victory hex. That's not a victory hex. This is the one unit of the one unit of Peabody left, and it's collapsed. But this is just a disordered 1-strength artillery unit plus a bunch of the leaders all stacked in. So they were pretty much destroyed for all intents and purposes. They did a decent number. I think 7, maybe 8. I might have forgotten one, so maybe 1 or 2. So. Let's just say they did 8 strength point damage to the Confederates, which is a decent show, but not quite enough to pull out one of their objectives. And they were pretty much swept from the field there. A lot of interesting rolls here. Got a lot of low ammo results in that last bit. Just playing through this again, fixing things. My brain is really getting a handle now on the basics of how it flows. I had to adjust a few things. I was doing some things still wrong in the first turn. Obviously, but even some more kind of fundamental stuff, just like how you're supposed to move and fire. I was doing this wrong. I was basically doing individual units moving, firing, then moving, firing, and rather than everything move, then fire, then shock. You know what I mean. I think that kind of explained it. So you're supposed to move everything, then do the next step. So I was messing that up a little bit, which might have changed some results in certain things. And the very first move I did with print was actually an illegal move, because you can't do. I don't think you can do that kind of withdraw maneuver, at least the way I did it with the rules for withdrawal maneuver, unless there's an enemy in your front hex. So that was an error that might have changed a little bit about how this flank went down. It's hard to gauge. I'll probably just do Shiloh Church next, just to see how that goes. But point being, this was a lot of fun. I've been learning a lot about how to play this, and overall I'm pretty happy with the results. At least it came barely historical-ish, in the sense that the Union gets swept from the field here within a couple hours. So that was a pretty fun scenario too, and I think I like this game series a lot. So far, obviously still figuring things out, and still need to get a couple things kind of down to figure out how to do it. But overall, I like where it's at. It gets bloody pretty fast when everyone gets up close in their face. So yeah, that is the end of Scenario 2, Sound the Long Roll. Once again, this game is Into the Woods, Battle of Shiloh, April 6th, published by GMT, series designer Richard Berg, and game designer Dick Whitaker. Yeah, good game series. I'm liking this rule set, and I like this scenario. I'm gonna play those others. I really want to get a feel for this game. So yeah, that's me signing off.